What's good, Philly sports fans? Welcome to another dose of Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And now I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. I want to talk to you guys about the Ben Simmons situation from the perspective of Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce was in a press conference, and he talked about Zach Ertz's departure, and he sort of brought up the Ben Simmons situation because when Zach Ertz was dealing with his trade, or his lack thereof, he was a bit upset about that. He was upset about the fact that he wasn't getting paid the money he felt he deserved. He was upset about the fact that the team was sort of holding out on the best deal possible to move on from him. Overall, he was just in awe about the fact that his career was in limbo and he really didn't know where his future held, not only with the team, but just in the NFL and when it came to his contract. And Jason Kelce talked about how Zach Ertz handled it with class. He also brought up the fact that Ben Simmons has not been handling anything with class, and also about Ben Simmons pointing a finger in other directions except for himself. Jason Kelce's exact words were, I tell you guys, you write your own narrative. I don't want to crush any other players, but what's going on with the 76ers, Ben Simmons, stuff like that, all of that is because of a lack of accountability, a lack of owning up to mistakes, and a lack of correcting things. If all that got corrected, if you're fixing free throws, if you're getting better as a player, none of this is happening. So everybody can bitch and complain about how tough this city is to play in. Just play better, man. The city will love you. Wow. Let that sink in for a little bit. Don't bitch and complain about how tough this city is to play in. Just play better, and this city will love you. Those are some of the truest words when it comes to the Philly fan base. You think about this city's past when it comes to our athletes. You think about Julius Erving. You think about Charles Barkley. You think about Allen Iverson. You know what I mean? You think about those guys in this city's past, in particular when it comes to the 76ers. When it comes to the Eagles, you think about guys like Brian Dawkins, Brian Westbrook, Donovan McNabb, Quentin Michael, Randall Cunningham, Harold Carmichael. Who else can I speak of? Jerome Brown. Who else? Fletcher Cox. You think about Trent Cole, Trey Thomas. You know what I'm saying? You think about all those guys who played in the city of Philadelphia. And they've always ingratiated themselves with this city. They've always welcomed the challenge. They've always been open to the abrasive nature of the fans. They've always not shied away from criticism. And at the end of the day, the criticism will come in the city. You know, we've had guys like Reggie White who's always given us everything on every down, not shortchanging us. You think about Michael Vick redeeming himself in his city. The city of Philadelphia welcomed back Michael Vick, who was literally in career limbo when he got out of prison. This city has always gotten close, always showed love to the athletes, who've always showed love back, who've always given us the same product in return. And that's hard work. That's ambition. That's development. That's a desire to get better. We've always opened our arms to players who've opened their arms to us. Joel Embiid has always opened his arms to this city. But you think about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has always approached this city at an arm's length. He's always made it a point to spend his summers in Los Angeles, in Calabasas, Malibu. Now look, there's nothing wrong with spending your summers in the sun. I have no problem with that. There's nothing wrong with going on vacation, having a vacation home in Los Angeles. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's something to be said about someone who's always avoided this city every chance they got. There's something to be said about a player who's always treated this city, treated his role in Philadelphia just simply as a job. And yes, this is a job for him. This is his career to play basketball, right? And sometimes you can't show but too much love to an organization because at the end of the day, these organizations treated like a business as well, and as should you as an athlete. But with treating things like a business comes with treating things like a professional as well. And Ben Simmons has not done that. Ben Simmons has not approached this as a professional. He has not truly opened his arms to the city of Philadelphia. It always seemed like Ben Simmons was in his head, always nonchalant. He seemed to always say the right things prior to this whole drama, but it just always seemed like there was a disconnect. Whereas though with Joel Embiid, he always had the pulse of the fans. Ben Simmons has showed his behind this offseason. He showed his behind in training camp. And he's gave us his behind to kiss leading up to the season opener. He's been defiant. He's been oblivious. And he's lacked accountability. And all Jason Kelce is saying that if you want this city to love you, all you got to do is work hard. You think about AI, who couldn't deliver a championship. He came close, went to the finals against the Los Angeles Lakers when the Los Angeles Lakers were damn near in their prime with the Shaq and Kobe. He won game 1, but after that, he couldn't really deliver. That roster really wasn't as talented as he was. Nowhere near as talented as that Lakers roster. But AI gave us everything. Not once did he shortchange us. That's why people gravitate to guys like Russell Westbrook, because they don't shortchange you. They leave it all out on the court. A guy like Brian Dawkins left it all out on the field. Yet Ben Simmons has never left it all out on the court. You think about the playoffs, each and every year, but more specifically, the most recent, against the Atlanta Hawks. It always seemed like he wasn't giving us 110%. It always seemed like he was trying to do just enough to get the job done, but not enough sacrificing to be seen. A guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo was constantly being embarrassed about his free throw shooting. You know what he did? He got even more aggressive, went to that free throw line and dominated. Ben Simmons avoided everything. He avoided all resistance. Why? Because he's so concerned with his image. But at what point does it become about basketball? At what point does it become about being a better player, delivering the product that the city deserves? A city that's been behind you time and time again. Sure, we want you to shoot the ball, but overall we understood that it's not your game. Mainly what we want from you is just to be an aggressive player. When you see an opportunity, take it. Time and time again, your head coach, Doc Rivers, has supported you habitually, pathologically, to the point where people are starting to question Doc Rivers' credibility as a coach. Time and time again, Joel Embiid has said, I love playing with Ben Simmons. Everyone has always had your back, Ben. Everyone. But when have you had the team's back? When have you had the city's back? When have you lived up to your end of the bargain? This city, this organization paid you despite your deficiencies, gave you a long-term deal, and now you want to give us your ass to kiss. Now you want to act like this city has done you wrong. I think not, sir. So maybe you should take a word out of Jason Kelce's book, the Super Bowl champion, the one who has pedigree, the one who has the right to speak from his perspective. And understand that hard work beats talent any day of the week. And that at the end of the day, when you give the city your all, when you play better, this city will love you. And I'll leave it at that. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and you guys were locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just gotta charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, most importantly, stay hungry. And fly Eagles fly, and let's go Sixers.